Well, he hails from Columbia, Missouri, and he's definitely a prospect to keep on the national scene when it comes to sprint car racing. We're talking about Garet Williamson. Williamson won on June 10th at Knoxville Raceway in front of the World of Outlaws and backed it up and finished third against the World of Outlaws that same night. Hear about all of his success at 2023 and some things that he would like to achieve in the future, as well as how he got his start in racing. That's coming up next on the Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed podcast after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. On the Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed podcast is representing Columbia, Missouri, and it's Garet Williamson. Garet, welcome to the show. I'm really looking forward to this interview, and yeah, it should be a great time talking about racing.
Yeah, I'm excited, Thanks for having me on.
2023, wild and crazy for a lot of people and a lot of tracks. For you, the numbers: 4 wins, 12 podiums, 22 top 5s, 32 top 10s, and about 50 starts. Got a mix of 410 wins, one at Huset's on May 29th, and Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri with the Power Eye Boss 410 Series on August 19th, and a pair of big wins at Knoxville, June 10th and July 29th in 360 competition. But for you, how would you rate how 2023 went for you?
I think overall pretty good. Obviously some big learning curves and some challenges and just different things. But one of our big goals was to win at Knoxville in the 360 car, and we did that. And then got my first 410 win, and that was also very cool to do. And yeah, I think we strung together some good runs along the way.
And that 360 win on July, I believe it was the July 29th one. That was when the Outlaws were, the June 10th is when the Outlaws were in town. You won, and then you ended up putting a really good finish in the Outlaw feature. Yeah,
I think that was probably one of the highlight nights of the year. Picking up my first 360 win at Knoxville and a podium with Outlaws was pretty cool, and not something I really had on the bingo card. We really struggled the night before. I don't even think I made the show the night before with them, and then went back to the shop and kind of threw everything back at it what we had at the beginning of the year. I think we just got off of our baseline, trying too many different things, and we really struggled and went back to what we knew we were good with, and obviously ran third with Outlaws. And I had a really good car that night, so that was really cool. And then follow that up with my first 360 win at Knoxville. Was a pretty incredible night.
Well, then that July 29th, I almost said it was Outlaws, but that was the night that the All Stars were in town. So it was another big night in front of kind of a big showcase for you.
Yeah, the kind of theme of the night was going along with the Outlaw win night. I think I ran first or second, then my heat race with the All Stars, made the dash, ran good in that, and then I don't even know where I ended up. I think probably 7th or 8th in the 410 deal. We weren't stellar, but the 360 deal, I won that, and that was really cool. We had a really strong night with that. So,
and it's a really competitive 360 division there. I mean, Chase Randall had just an incredible season there in that class. Aaron Reitzel was fast, but then you got guys like Clint Garner that run in it, and several others. So there's no slouches on the weekly program at that facility.
Yeah, definitely. The 360 deal at Knoxville is really strong. You have guys in and out of there. Then you got Chase full time there, getting to battle with him every night. You had Aaron in and out of there. So, yeah, there's a lot of really good cars there. I think we had a B main every night, so there's no lack of cars or competition. So you definitely had to be on your A game every night there. There's fast cars, that were going to be there, and then we ran double duty all year there too. So that was another wrench that we got not that we got thrown. That was something we chose to do, which was incredible. I learned a lot, and getting to race twice in one night, that was really helpful, and it was really beneficial to us and our team.
I was going to say, so much of the season was doing a lot of double duty action, and then kind of getting kind of a triple option in there by running some of the shows at Huset's on Sundays.
Yeah, that was really cool. I think we originally didn't plan on going there too much, and then we started off the year really good there, and we thought about chasing points, and then our 410 engine program, we just weren't going to be able to run double duty at Knoxville and make it all the way up there. So we kind of put a halt to that and then bounced up there every now and again. But yeah, running double duty Saturday and going up to Houston was a lot of fun. Obviously, a lot of hard work on my guys, and they never quit. And I always had a really fast race car every time we unloaded.
Finishing second in Knoxville, 360 points. What was kind of the process for you to get to Knoxville? Was it something that was on the table offered, or just kind of an idea that popped up between you and the race team of like, how about if we try this and see what we can do? Because Columbia, Missouri isn't exactly right next door to Knoxville. So it definitely takes a lot of logistics and funding to make that happen.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think we kind of thought about the year before, and then we got to talk with my engine partner, Don Long, and he stepped up and offered us a full-time 360 motor to run at Knoxville if we chased the points, and that was huge to us, and it kind of set our plans to go run Knoxville. And we actually moved the whole shop and team up here to race out of Knoxville. I think we moved up here in like December of last year to race. It just made more sense logistically, and tried to save a little bit of money of just racing from here, and did that. And obviously, if you can run good at Knoxville, it's so huge, and it's really crucial to meet new partners. And I mean, everyone watches Knoxville. Everyone knows what's going on. It doesn't matter Australia, California, Pennsylvania. Everyone knows what's going on at Knoxville. And if you can run good for those 2 weeks in August, that really can change your career. And that was kind of our mindset going into it. We have to put everything we can into this to try to keep this team rolling, and that's what we did. And I feel like we executed pretty well at that.
And your nationals, those 2 weeks of the nationals, 360 and 410. Saturday night had a really fast piece, but got in a late race crash. That was pretty hard, but it was good to see that you're okay. And then a little bit of a curveball thrown at you, and then ended up with the Dennis Gehring number 6 and a part of a pretty potent 3-car team for the 410 Nationals week.
Yeah, obviously it's a week I'll never forget, the good and bad of that week. That was honestly one of the biggest life-changing weeks I've had, and just a lot of stuff went on, and I think it made me better as a person, as a race car driver. But yeah, our 360, it's not how I wanted it to end at all. I think we had a shot to even win the Nationals. It just, the front row was so stout, but we paced Aaron and Brown really good in that late restart. It's not something I was looking forward to. I just knew I was really going to struggle with it, and obviously it hurt us, and I ended up getting in a wreck, and after running third the whole race, so that really stunk. But obviously part of it, we had a really good piece all week, and that's what we went there to do, and I didn't go there to run third. So that's part of it. And obviously, 2 days later, I lost the 24 ride, and they shut doors, and ended up with a huge opportunity with Dennis Gainey. That was pretty cool. You know, he was right next to where our shop is, and as soon as everything happened, he was, hey, go build this race car. It's yours. Do whatever you want with it, and let's go have some fun and forget about the rest of the week. So for him and his wife, Betty, to do that for me was pretty cool, and all the guys they have at their shop that allowed me, and all hands on deck to make sure I could get a ride built was very special.
Oh, it was super cool, you know, being there. Obviously, you're in your car, and then your teammates with the guy you race a lot with in the 360s, Clint Garner, and they got that iridescent tropical kind of Knoxville wrap, and then it was what was it, Brandon Wimmer, so cool. Yep. with the 7TW, like the throwback to his grandfather Tom Wimmer, and the Jeff Swindell Golden Eagle wrap that they had going on.
Yeah, it was awesome. Dennis had some really nice race cars, and he has very nice equipment, so it was no less of a step for me to go hop over there and race his cars, not only for nationals but for the rest of the year. I got to run his stuff, which was awesome, and very thankful he allowed me to do that. And it was just a cool overall deal. Dennis is a really stand-up guy, and to do something like that's pretty neat. He owed me nothing and stepped up huge.
Well, and later on in the year, in August, actually the week after the Nationals, August 19th, you guys were able to crank out a pretty impressive win at Lucas Oil Speedway in your native Missouri with the Power Eye Boss 410 series, that's a deal that I think is on the rise and a really cool kind of regional thing that's happening, and has some good drivers in it and some pretty good talent.
Yeah, that was in the Vielhauer 12X car that I also got to run a few times this year. But yeah, I'm very excited for that power deal. Obviously, it's my home region where it's kind of basing out of. To get some 410s growing is really good, and I hope it works, and I think it will work as long as it keeps doing what it's doing, and it pays really good. They go to some really cool tracks, so I'm excited to see that grow too. And yeah, hopefully it's something I can go run here and there next year too.
Was it much of an adjustment at all going from, I mean, obviously Knoxville and Houston weren't the only two tracks that you ran, but then going to something, being at Knoxville for basically 2 straight weeks and running so much, and then you go to, it's a 3/8, Lucas Oil, and then you're just able to take care of business.
Yeah, I think running the last 2 years previous to this, running with ASCS and going to new track every week, I've really never. This is the first year I've ran a racetrack every week and every week in and week out. So I don't think that was a struggle for me. I think I've always kind of bounced around the racetrack. So I feel like that's something I've had to adapt to quick, and I really don't have a problem with it. So I really enjoy going to different tracks every week, but it also made coming back to Knoxville after I'd been on the road or we'd miss it or we'd do something. So I really do enjoy running out Knoxville, and it was nice having a home track that you knew you had a good package. You could always go there and be fast.
Well, and tell me the story. I mean, the 12X, that's an iconic team in the Midwest. The Vielhauer Beaver Driller Tools entry, and had some success with Ayrton Geniton, and I think Chase Randall was in it for a little bit, and then you get the call. What kind of led to that?
I think him and Ayrton parted ways, and obviously I didn't have any full-time ride or full-time plan, and got the call, and the first weekend it was at Wheatland, and we went and won there, so I think that set the tone pretty good that we'd be fast. And then we went to Sedalia the next night and had a shot to win there, running down the leader, and blew up with 5 to go, I think. So I think if we don't blow up, we'd go back to back, and that would have been pretty cool. But nonetheless, I picked up a win with them, and that was his first win, being a full-time owner, having his new team, having a team back. So I think that was a really special win for both of us, and one that I definitely won't forget. Well, and yeah, I got to. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's such an iconic car with so much success, with Shane Carson, Danny Smith was in it, Stevie Smith was in it, and man, I mean, the more things change, they stay the same, and with the color scheme and the number font is pretty much unchanged for gosh, little over 30 years.
Yeah, that was really cool. Obviously, they have pictures in the car, or all in the shop, of the iconic racers that have ran that car, and the stories I've been told from Billy and other people. And just being at the racetrack, how many people come up and just take a picture of the car really shows how special that car is to people and how long it's been around. And it was really cool to be a part of that and race such an iconic car. I think one day I'll get to look back, and that'll be a pretty cool one that I've got to be a part of.
No doubt. So I guess it's story time. You mentioned ASCS previously before you guys hit the 410 stuff hard, but before ASCS, what was kind of your start in racing, and what drew you to become a sprint car driver?
My grandpa raced modified just growing up, and got the grandkids into racing go-karts. I was 4 when I started racing karts, and me and my cousin and went into my junior sprints and micros, but nothing serious. It wasn't like the Randall and Tim's and all the kids nowadays running 100 times a year since they were 9-10 years old. Mm-hmm. But race, it was just a weekend fun deal, and I always really enjoyed it. I was successful growing up, and then we got into the micros, and we didn't have the big funded team, so we were just kind of average, but it was something I really enjoyed, and I took serious, and that's kind of what I knew I wanted to do for some reason. I just kind of fell in love with the sport and driving race cars and winning, and I knew I wanted to do it, but the family team we had, I knew wasn't going to be that wasn't what I'd be able to take to the next step. So got into the sprint car deal with my former car owner, and he took a chance on me and went ASCS racing our first year, my first lap in a sprint car, and kind of made the most of it.
Yeah. Big way, like getting thrown to the wolves kind of, but no doubt you either fold under pressure or you rise under pressure, right?
Yeah, definitely. Especially in our sport, if you don't have money, you can't fake it. So you gotta perform and you gotta do well. And I think I've tried doing that, and I've obviously struggled along the way. But I think that comes with experience, and we will be better at that, of being more consistent on our successful runs. And I think we are getting better just year to year, how much we've grown. And the competition we can race against now from what we started is huge. I think we went to the very first year I went with ASCS, I went to California, didn't make a single show out there. And I went back later in the year. I think I made every show, ran 4th or 5th to Larson and Rico one night. And so I think just year by year, like, we're just going to keep getting better. Just got to keep putting the right pieces in the right place, surrounding myself with good people. And I think we can do a lot. Just a lot of it is having the right people. And right now I have a really good core group that pushes me and I know I can trust.
Well, and what was that experience like? How much of a shock was it for you? Like, you're on the road with ASCS and you're going to all sorts of different shapes and sizes of race tracks, as well as different parts of the country where the weather is completely different from other places.
I think in the moment I was just enjoying, I was loving every minute of it. I didn't really know what to expect, but looking back on it now, it's kind of crazy. I had no business really doing any of it. I hadn't done anything to get to that point. Everything kind of happened. I think my year before in a micro, I may have ran 20 shows, if that. So to go from that to a full-blown national scene was pretty cool, and we weren't really too bad. I think obviously we struggled some nights, just the lack of experience, but we put in some good runs, and it's kind of built on that.
Yeah. What do you recall were some of the most unique or some of the coolest places that you went and competed at?
The first year, I think I really did enjoy being out on the West Coast. I think I haven't been back there since then, actually, since my first year, and I really do want to get back there. I think that was one of the most fun times I had, was racing out there. You have some really cool tracks. Knoxville, the very first year, was an eye-opener. That and Oski were two unique tracks that I don't think you'll ever forget your first time going there. I don't know. I think those were some out in the West Coast, and then the two big half miles in Iowa were some of the two coolest places I went as the first year. You kind of always look at these places growing up watching races. Man, that's so cool. And then to finally do them. And then along with that, this year, getting to go out to Pennsylvania and hit those tracks was very cool.
No doubt. I mean, man, like Pennsylvania, they say they're half miles, and even Knoxville to an extent, it says it's a half mile. But to me, growing up on the West Coast where, 3/8 is the biggest thing you see, I mean, these things look like just monster facilities.
Yeah, definitely. Port and the Grove were absolutely insane. They were huge. They made Knoxville feel small.
Did you have to change your half mile driving style quite a bit, like going to somewhere, well, I guess Williams Grove, because it seems like Port Royal runs very similar like Knoxville sometimes when you're rolling the top. Yeah,
Port Royal wasn't too different, but the Grove there's nothing that compares to that. There's nothing you can take to that and say, yeah, you kind of run it like this. It's a complete different animal of a racetrack, and it's very unique, and it's a really hard place to get around, honestly.
Well, and it's just
it makes you respect the guys that run good there, and you watch them do some things there, and you're like, holy crap, how do you do that?
Well, it's just crazy to see, like, the way the cars react, just the mechanics of, like, the right front picking up. It's like, holy cow, what's going on? And then, that place for sure, Vapor Trail is like crazy, especially obviously this time of the year. And it's
when I was out there this year, I remember going down the straightaway behind someone, and there's 3 Vapor Trails coming off their car.
Sure.
It's just a different animal.
Jet fighter.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I mean, aspirations for you. What would you be content with as a driver for your career? Have you kind of hit it towards like, hey, if I were to walk away right now, like I'm happy with what I've done? Or is there some events that you'd like to go to before you hang your helmet up, or chase points for a certain series, or run regularly at a certain other racetrack?
I want to run the Outlaws full time. Is kind of my goal. Is what I want to do as a race car driver and make a living doing. I've always wanted to be a race car driver, and I think to do it in a sport, if you go make it, run the Outlaws is what I want to do. Go up and down the road, all over the country, and I want to win races with the Outlaws.
Hey, that's not too bad of a mark. I think you'd be the you'd be the first guy from Missouri to be with the Outlaws since Clyde Knipp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and look and now he's with JJR, and he's doing all sorts of great things there, albeit not in the capacity of a driver, but doing really good.
Yeah, he's obviously met a lot of really good connections, made a really good name for himself, learned a lot, and he's starting his new carbon business, which seems to be pretty successful. He's doing a lot of good work, so I think he's learned a lot, and he's doing really good.
Well, gonna switch gears here a little bit with this question. What are some things that you like to do when not racing or thinking about race cars? I know, like Columbia, Missouri, that's the home of Mizzou, University of Missouri.
Yeah.
So I
went to the homecoming game last week. Actually, I haven't got to go home go home for a weekend in quite some time. So that was the first week I got to go hang out with some friends. Went to the football game, and it was good to go home. And I really do miss being at home, but obviously you don't always get to go home. It's kind of part of growing up. So, but yeah, I miss being at home and doing the stuff you don't really get to do when you're on the road and see your friends. It's kind of different. It's like going away for college, but for a long time. So
sure.
But yeah, I like to go hunting. I haven't obviously got to do that because I haven't been at home either. Used to hunt a lot growing up, play sports. So a lot of stuff like that, basketball, slow pitch softball with all the boys, just anything, hanging out with friends is what I really did before coming out on the road racing.
And is there any like other cool sites besides the university there, or like anything nearby, or is that pretty much the point of interest?
That's it in Columbia. You got to go to St. Louis or Kansas City to do anything cool.
Okay. And you're kind of right in the middle. So
yep, both at the same distance. You went to a lot of Chiefs games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then either go to St. Louis or Kansas City to get the big city activities to go do.
How I mean, here, gonna get this quote directly from a native Missourian and a devout Kansas City Chiefs. This whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing. Is it kind of aggravating you guys that are true Chiefs fans? Like all of a sudden bandwagoners are coming on, or does it feel like that?
Yeah, I think the media does that with anything they can get clicks and views on. They're gonna sell it and promote it, and it's going to wear it out. And I think they've already done that with showing it. Yeah, obviously that's cool. It's helping everybody, bringing a lot of money to the NFL and to all of them. But obviously they've overdone it already.
I'm saying it now. Taylor Swift should have been dating a sprint car driver because it would get so much attention for sprint car racing.
Gosh. Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Like, holy cow.
Yeah. And just look what she's done for, I think, what was it, Kelce after the first game had already gained almost like 700,000 followers from it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The running joke is that everybody heard of Taylor or never heard of Taylor Swift before she started dating Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So, but cool. Well, 2024, obviously this offseason, it's rather unusual. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people kind of waiting in the wings to see what's going to be happening as far as scheduling is concerned. But for you, is it going to be a full stint at Knoxville, or are you guys looking to change things up a little bit in 2024?
I think we will be on the road traveling as kind of the plan as of right now, is travel, get our feet wet more places, and running up and down the road more and getting used to what comes with that. And then, just really obviously, kind of like everyone else, this is a big off season for everybody. It's a big shakeup in sprint car racing. So waiting on schedules and seeing what's going to offer the best and where it makes sense to go run. But yeah, I think traveling is kind of is what we're looking for right now.
Okay.
Obviously, the end goal is go run Outlaws or whatever series makes the most sense sooner than later.
Sure. And then as far as you finding out exactly what your schedule is going to be, or folks following you along for your results, or perhaps want to purchase some apparel to support your race team, what are the best avenues? Is there a website or social media pages that you offer?
Yeah, shopgaretwilliamson.com is all my merchandise. I have results on there, and it'll take you to any of our social media platforms with Facebook at Garet Williamson Racing, and same with Twitter. But yeah, either website or on both social medias, we have pages, and you can it's easy access to the website or vice versa to anything. You kind of bounce around and have all of our merchandise, little odds and end things, pictures, links to all of our great partners if you want to go do services with them or anything like that, or get a hold of us, you email, call us. So yeah, we offer it all.
Awesome. And people, individuals, I know you talked about your grandpa and some other people, but feel free to mention them again. Individuals, sponsors, marketing partners that you'd like to thank for making 2023 happen, or for any people that you'd like to thank that'll be coming back on board for 2024.
Yeah, I think a lot of our success after our nationals and all, and were our great part with Fisher Motorsport or Fisher Body Shop. Can't say the motorsports part yet. And then Fisher Motor, or look, I just did it again. Fisher Body Shop, Impact, signs and wraps, Linville Repair, True Sun Interior and Exterior, Lindsay Reynolds, Sorrells, Auto and Truck Parts. We have so many great people that have been along for the ride, and a really great core group of people that are so involved with us and are there for any of our next steps. And just it's really hard to find people like that in our sport. And once you kind of find that, you want to keep them as close as you can and really get them involved. With Perry's full service. They're actually from my hometown. They're really involved in the sport now, and it's really cool. I get to hang out with them at a lot of races, and that's also another thing. A lot of my sponsors and partners have started coming to the races. They camp at the races. That's really cool to see them get their families into it, and I think that's what the sport needs, is getting more people involved and showing it's just not a bunch of guys going around in a circle, and there's more activities to do than just go watch the race. Mm-hmm. And then also Don Long with everything he's done for me in my career and helping me out is very special. Not only me, he's been a part of a lot of racers from around here's careers. So there's not too many left like Don.
Well, that's so awesome to hear. And that's really cool that you mentioned that your sponsors go to the races and are actively supporting you, not just financially, but cheering you on. And that's really cool, because if everybody brought their sponsors to the races, everybody brought, their family to the race, and everybody, even if they invited one neighbor, like, holy cow, yeah, these places, they'd be turning people away because there would be no seats.
Yep. I think that's what we need. And not only just to support the races, but other businesses and racing, connecting with other businesses, I think it's great for everybody.
Oh, no doubt. I fully agree with you there. Well, Garet, it's been great to catch up with you and get to know your story. It's been also really cool to hear all about your successes that you've been able to achieve, as well as some of your dreams that you're hoping to hopefully soon achieve as well. And we'll definitely be staying in touch and possibly getting a 2024 update with you.
Heck yeah, I look forward to it. Hopefully I'll be out in the West Coast next year at some point.
No doubt. We'll have to hang out sometime if you're out this way.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that is going to do it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button on whatever platform you found this interview at. It really helps us grow the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll be back with more content and interviews in the future. Be sure and have a great evening or a great rest of your day, whatever time you're listening.